This is Chris Kill with your Peak Trainer 1 Power and Movement Circuit demonstration. All right, when we talk about power work for the general population client, it's just about moving as fast as possible and as quickly as possible. After we perform a third dynamic warm-up, the person is physically primed to optimally learn things. All right, and in this portion of the workout, we want to do these things while they're fresh so they can move as fast as possible. What I want you to think about with this type of training is that we're working with the nervous system here. Okay, we're training the very fast, immediate contractions versus working the muscles where we're trying to fatigue out the muscles. That's not the goal of this type of work. It's to improve reaction time. And when we think about the number of older people that break their hips with falls, people that trip, athletes that just lose their balance or not able to catch quickly in sport, we see that power is something that people can use of all ages and all needs. All right. The fact is that we lose power at twice the rate we lose strength as we age. We think about strength training as something we do with our general population clients, whoever it may be, simply because that's just part of the deal. I feel like power is the same way. All right, and this doesn't need to be something that takes nearly as long as strength training. All right, this stuff is fast. All right, we're talking 5 to 7 reps, down to 3 maybe. All right, the goal is just to move as quickly as possible. And the purpose of this video is I'm just going to show you that all power work doesn't have to be power cleans and high jumps and different things like that. It's just moving as fast as possible. So the idea is that we scale for who we're working with. All right, so if we have a 60-year-old person, general population client, their power work is going to be significantly different than our 18-year-old athlete. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple examples. And with power, we like to do something for both the upper and the lower body, okay? And a lot of movements combine that as well. And when we think of like Olympic lifts, those are full body movements, such as push presses and cleans. Those involve accelerating a heavy weight with your lower body and then utilizing your upper body as well together. And that creates something which is called triple extension, okay, where everything is moving together. So the ankles, the hips, and the knees extend together, all right? And that's valuable when we're trying to break falls or change directions or just produce power as quickly as possible. I love the medicine ball as the same type of implement because with the medicine ball, with the traditional slam, we're getting the same thing. All we're cueing the client to do is move as quickly as possible. And the beauty of this is, the medicine ball is a very safe implement. We have up to 30-pound medicine balls in our gym. I'm using an 8 here. But what we can also use are things like stability balls and soccer balls. All right, so just a couple ideas with the medicine ball. All right, and if you're thinking about the general population client, this would be the equivalent of a total body power movement, all right? It's combining the upper and the lower body, and we always like to get in some sort of med ball movement, first, all right? So a medicine ball slam is a staple we like a lot. And you'll notice that when I'm doing this, I'm using my entire body, all right? It's a full body contraction. It's almost like I jump that ball down. Whereas with a lot of people when they first do this, they're just using their arms, all right? We need to explain that this is a full body movement. I want you to pretend like you're chopping wood and move as powerfully as possible and make the ball bounce, right? The good thing about these particular medicine balls is that they don't bounce very well. So I like to use sort of a less bouncier one as a progression. In the beginning you can certainly use more bouncy medicine balls. The problem is just watch that because it might hit them in the teeth. Okay, I've seen that happen. But some other things that we can do are throws in the wall. Okay, so a simple squat and throw. Overhead throw. You can back your client away, so there's no possibility of, again, the ball bouncing into them, but just use it safely. With this, we're looking for maybe 3 to 5 reps, right? It's not about fatiguing anything. It's just about maximal exertion. And that's only going to be able to be true over around 3 to 5 reps. So 1, 2, 3, move to your next exercise. All right? For the lower body, all right, and I would consider that both a total body and an upper body exercise because we're using both things together. All right? Now for the lower body, we like just simple jumps. All right? So for what we always teach is, we want the client to be able to land quietly first, where they're jumping, landing on their toes and pausing, and kind of sounding like a ninja, basically. I mean, traditionally, when we're teaching power to our athletes, we're going to start out with something like a box jump where the objective is to land quietly. So I want them to start in the same position, or land in the same position they started in, and be very quiet. All right, if I hear a large slam, then we have a problem there. But again, once they have that, then we can start to do things where we're jumping higher because we have that control. Okay, for the general population client, it doesn't even need to be that complicated. All right, you can simply do things like speed ladder work, where again, it's maximal exertion, it's a small jump, but I'm just landing on my toes. And that's the biggest thing, is that we're just cueing them to say the toes are the first and the last thing to leave the ground. All right, we want them bouncing, with them kind of exploding. So for a general population client, an ankle jump is a power exercise. All right, if you want to kick that up, you can start to train squat jumps, where again, I'm just asking them to land quietly, pause, and we could do a variety of different jumps. Step jumps are ones that we like a lot. Start, pause. Okay, for older clients, that can simply be step up as quickly as possible, step down. We can scale that up by adding things like a chair. Okay, again, I'm stepping up higher, I'm having to jump higher. So again, just based upon who you're working with, we can scale up or down. All right, we always look at total or upper body movement, lower body movement, and then we're going to put in something that might be a little bit more either specific or fill a client's need. Okay, because those things are, client needs a little bit of recovery, so that's the perfect opportunity for maybe an athlete who has to change directions to perform something such as a multi-pointer lunge, where they're lunging to the side, working on a deep squat with a client. We like maybe an assisted squat to help them to improve hip mobility, rock around, whatever it may be. Or, for your older clients, in this circuit, because we're training the nervous system and we're working on motor learning, things like balance drills where they're standing on one leg. And we're trying to teach them some sort of a movement skill that they need to learn early in the session before they fatigue. Okay, so again, in summary, we have our upper body movement, our lower body movement, and then whatever filler exercises that apply to that particular client. And for rest, we're looking at about maybe a minute to 2 minutes, and then we go again. I'd say anywhere from 5 to 8 reps, 3 to 8 reps for the power work, and then whatever applies to your specific need for the filler exercise. But with that, generally we're going to devote anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to power work, and then move on to our strength training.